For 2,000 years, followers of Jesus have found ways to gather together. Some have met in big, loud meetings in places like cathedrals and stadiums. Others, because they feared persecution, have met quietly and in secret so as not to be overheard. During the lockdowns of 2020, our church continued this ancient commitment of meeting together in the name of Jesus. We met online and in parks and on walking tracks. We gathered in lounge rooms and in backyards, cafes and in car parks. Sometimes these gatherings were great. Other times they were difficult. But through it all, we remembered that when Jesus spoke about building his church, he wasn't talking about bricks and wood. He was talking about people.
In 2021, we're going to be trialling a new type of gathering for St John's, which we're calling home hubs. This idea came about during lockdown last year, where we couldn't gather in large numbers, people gathered together with others in their homes and watched the digital service together. And we can see the potential of that going forward to reach more people with the good news of Jesus, to fulfill our mission: know Jesus, make Jesus known. So bearing in mind we've never done this before, this is a new thing, how do we see hubs working?
Yeah, well, we've got a hub right here on this wheel, right? So the hub is the center point. That's the focus of activity for the wheel. So you've got the spokes coming in, you've got the forks going in, and we do really see a hub as being a focus of activity for our church. So you've got the gathering point, people meeting in the name of Jesus, but it's not just a place where people are invited in or come in, but it's also a place where people are sent out. So sent out to share the good news about Jesus in both word and in action.
Yeah. Now, at the moment, the centre of our activity is our main property in Diamond Creek, St John's. It's a hub. People are invited in. We do mission from here. But what we're talking about is multiplying the number of hubs, creating new hubs, home hubs in different locations around Diamond Creek, surrounding suburbs, in people's homes.
Yeah. Now, these meetings would be hybrid meetings. So they would use some elements of our digital service, but they'll also do their own thing, which would allow each hub to have its own individual style and its own missional focus.
So we see many potential advantages with this idea of home hubs, but Kirk, let's just name 3 big ones.
Sure. So more locations increases the likelihood of new people joining our church community. So we have our map here, and Tim, you've got Diamond Creek over there.
So there's a hub of activity at Diamond Creek at St John's. So that's there.
So naturally, the further away from Diamond Creek you live, the harder it is to get there. Particularly if transport's an issue for you. So wouldn't it be great if there was more hubs, focuses of activity that people could more easily get to? Now, for about 18 months, we've been talking as a church about the fact that we are right on the edge of the Northern Growth Corridor of Melbourne. These suburbs, just to the west of us, that have thousands of people moving in every month, but with very few churches in that area. So wouldn't it be great if we could start some home hubs in those suburbs, really accessible for the people who live there? Now, of course, you don't have to start hubs in the Northern Growth Corridor. You could start one anywhere, really. But wouldn't it be great if we had some hubs in that area as part of the St John's Church network?
Secondly, there's something to be said for the informality of inviting people into your home. So even if you weren't out in some of these areas, you might have a hub in Diamond Creek, and it might be easier to invite people to gather with other people in your house than to invite people to a religious building, a church building that they might have preconceptions about, they might have negative experiences with. So it might be easier for mission to actually do that in a home.
And our third point is that the smaller nature of home hubs allows them to have a real focus in their outreach and be more flexible with it. So, for example, there might be a home hub that has a real passion to connect with single parents. And so what they could do is choose a time slot and a style of meeting and just shape everything they do around the circumstances that single parents commonly find themselves in. Well, it's a big new idea and you might have a bunch of questions. What we'll be doing is recording a bunch of short videos, answering some of the most common questions, and they'll be available on our website and on our YouTube channel. For now, we'd love you to pray for this new idea. And if you're interested in being involved in Home Hubs, even if it's just the smallest sniff of a possibility of being involved, we'd love to hear from you. You can fill in a simple online form or contact the church office directly.